Hello. Welcome to the stream. Today, I guess to recap, I am Valgan. I do programming for random stuff, but on stream here, it is primarily things for VR chat. And we are working on a NPC system that has a bunch of tools and modularity to everything that it's got. Hello, Aaron. Welcome. Yeah, so we've been building out the system quite a bit, and we've been most recently working on the director system, which is just a series of controls that we can put in and say, do X, Y, Z in order, and step through that stuff. Now, this has essentially a state machine, but it's not a very verbose one. So we're going to be spending some time to break this out into a bit more specific, like, this is how a state machine is meant to actually work for these NPCs. It's going to be a bit of nerd stuff, but it's going to be a lot easier to expand in the future, and we could probably add in a few more features to it this stream just for doing that. Now, one of the big things that we're going to have to handle is multiple directors. So we aren't going to support that where like there's two directors running at once. However, nothing is stopping it from happening at the moment. So we're going to have to adjust that so that isn't the case. So what we're going to do is our NPC itself, or the agent controller, is going to have a reference to the active director that's on. And we are basically going to say, hey, we're trying to direct this this NPC. Should we is there already a director that is active? And if so, we should shut it down and then step over to the next one. That way you don't have two controllers that are like trying to do one thing with the NPC. So let's set up a go down here. Will be private agent director, director, current director. We don't want a public way to set this outside of a function that we'll have, so we'll have a public getter up here for it. So public agent director. Current director, if I can spell it all. Just have that return current director. So let's see here. A lot of this is just handling for the different states that it's on. Directed is where we're going to essentially just be writing into the director for the state handling. And the director has next direction step here, and there's going to be a few things that we need to adjust here. I'm going to use something called region. So region trigger methods, and in here I'm going to put all of this stuff, which is just the ways of triggering a director. We don't actually care about that right now, so we're just going to use this region to hide it. We just have like a full net over here, and we can interact with all the stuff that we actually need. So let's set up a way to start controlling a NPC. So in here, we have the agent that this is referencing. This director will only work with a specific agent. So over here, we need a way to set this. So public void start directing. We will call agent, we will pass in a new director. And there's a few things that we need to start with. We need to cancel the current director, and we need to start up the new one. So our director over here is to have a function for ending the director. So public void end direction. Let's just set active to be false for now. So we're gonna do if current director. So just to see if it's not null, we'll do current director dot end direction. Then we'll set current director to equal the new director we passed in, and then we'll do another null check, but we will have to do a start direction here as well. So public void start direction. This is just going to set active to be true, but for now, we're going to add some more stuff in there later. But for now, this is just going to be fine. So now that we have that, we need let's see, agent.setState. Okay, that's what we've got there. I should put brackets here because this will be when we start some stuff here. We'll do set state directed, and then we can get rid of this step here. And instead of doing agent.setState, we'll do agent start directing, pass in this director. So now that we have this active and doing things, we need our update to handle it. So previously, I've been handling the direction through a send custom event delayed seconds, which works so long as you know exactly how long every step is, and that unfortunately is not the case. We do not know exactly how long it will take an NPC to get somewhere, and there's going to be other ones like that, but for now it's just going to be that as our main method of checking whether or not this supports non-specific duration directions, because essentially we need to wait for it to arrive at the destination and then we do things. So instead of doing next direction step, we're going to have a public void director update, and this is going to just be called in our controller. So if current director dot director update. So this is essentially just the update loop, but it only runs if it's actually active. So that way we don't have to worry about having a bunch of Udon behaviors in our scene that are running stuff in update and just not doing anything 99% of the time. Alright, so in director update, we're going to... Alright, so lapse decision time. What was this used for? This is for player tracking. Yeah, that's probably fine. We may want to break those out into more specific modules. Instead of directors, it'll be like states or something like that. Because this is a pretty specific behavior that we might want to break out into something else. We're going to be breaking out the pathing system later. Because the way it's set up right now is useless. You can pre-add a bunch of positions that they're going to be at, and well, frankly, that doesn't really have much of a use unless they are never going to go anywhere, which is fine. A lot of NPCs will probably just be standing in one spot, kind of idling, doing stuff, or just going between 2 or 3 different positions. So let's figure this out here. Our director here has director update. We want to have the duration for this. So let's have a private float. Director. We'll do elapsed duration. There we go. During start direction, we want elapsed duration to be set to 0, and we can increment that in our director update. So we'll just do plus equals time.delta time, just how much time has been since the last frame, since it's called every frame. And now we can do this handling. Alright, so let's switch state our current direction. I'll just copy my log from down there. So since we're swapping it to be this elapsed duration, this wait check here is going to basically wait to see if the elapsed duration is bigger than this. So if the elapsed duration is greater than or equal to that next direction set. So we don't need to worry about this. Yeah, so we can get rid of both of these. So we need to do 2 things for set destination. 1, we need to wait for them to arrive at that destination. And 2, we need to give them like a second to start moving in the event that they just need a little bit to kind of have the NPC figure itself out. So we're going to do if elapsed duration is greater than 1. Actually, we won't magic number that. We'll do private float. Minimum reversal wait. There we go. That's just how long we're gonna wait until things until we start checking to see if they've arrived. If agent dot locomotion dot has arrived, there we go. If that's the case, then we next direction step. Okay. So from there, I guess we can see if this breaks. So let's head back into Unity. We shouldn't have to change any of our directors because they're all the same. We'll change this to be waiting 1 second though, so we don't have to wait 9 seconds in total. And I'll move these around so it's a bit more obvious when someone's arrived somewhere. Alright. So let's set this up. We'll hit play, and we're going to be watching the white-haired one, the Vikachan 2. because by default they are following me. But if I hit this button, let me click on them quick so we can see their nav mesh stuff. Click on that. They go to that position. They arrive. Oh, okay. So they're not waiting. And I think I know why. Our next direction step never resets the elapsed duration. So this timer is just always going up. So we can pretty safely just do that. We're also going to move next duration step and stuff over to this, to our start direction. This is effectively where it was at because of the execution order in our trigger function. But maybe I should move this as well. Probably makes sense because a lot of our trigger function is inheriting into our system here. Okay. So now they should properly wait at the 3 destinations. So I click on this. They go to that position. They wait. They go to the next position. They wait. And they go to the next position and they wait. Awesome. Oh wait, but it immediately breaks afterwards. Uh-oh. Okay, so we need a way to end that. Okay, we're still using the set state here. So set state, we need to cancel the directive for this. So public void stop directory. We'll pass in the agent just to make sure it is the current one. Actually, I think we can just change this from start to set. Set director. And we can just pass in null. So we'll do agent.setDirector null. All right, should work. All right. So if the current direction is, the direction index is more than the amount of directions this has, it ends. So we can go back into Unity and test that quick. Once everything compiles. There we go. Alright. Bonk. They go to position 1, they wait, they go to position 2, eventually they wait, they go to position 3, they wait, and still directed. Okay, so we'll do Okay. If agent current director equals this, agent set director null, and then we will pass in our state setting. Because our state setting still does, well, it doesn't, our set director doesn't actually declare a state. So we should be able to just do that. Okay, okay. Alright, so now everything works. The NPC should go to the 3 positions after I click this button, then start following me again. That's the left one, goes to the right one, goes to the bottom one, and then nothing. Okay. What did I do wrong? Agent controller. I'm going to put a serialized field on the current director just so we can see what's controlling it. Because if it's null but not being undirected, then we have another issue. I guess I can check quick to see what my record. Hey, how's it going? We are doing more NPC stuff. Right now I'm trying to figure out some wackiness with how the characters do stuff. All right, so there's currently no director. If I walk up, press this button, we have a target director. It is currently directed. They are walking to the left spot. They are walking to the right spot. They should then walk to the bottom spot. And there's currently an issue when they finish. So, all right. So it's clearing the director, but it's staying in the directed state. So what's the exit? So use previous state on complete. When am I grabbing that? Previous state is here. The start direction is called here. Where do I want to do that then? I guess I can just do that in our trigger function up here. That should be fine. Yeah. Okay. Realistically, our end direction needs to do a bit more stuff. So we'll go ahead and just call it end direction. And we'll move that over here. There we go. The reason I'm doing this check here for if agent.currentDirector equals this is I want to not set their state or anything if a new director has intercepted. So that should be... Yeah. Okay. Now, go back to Unity. Make sure everything works. Alright, hit play. This director won't have any visual changes to it. So we want to click on Pikachu 2. Click on this button. The current director is set. Their state is directed. Go into the northmost position. We go into the far right one. We go into the bottom one. Now, player tracking, agent directors null. But what is this null? The requested operation caused a stack overflow. Actually, why would that? If agent.currentDirector equals this. Set director null, and this calls end direction. Okay. In that case, how do we want to reorder this then? Okay, we're going to change the naming on this. I can learn the complexity of Unity, yet I cannot learn how to have normal conversations with people. Why can't people just be more like Unity? Oh man, I have some friends that are glad that they never have to speak to someone who is Unity. Oh, that's funny. Alright, so we have start direction and end direction. What we essentially want for these are callbacks instead of the declarative actions. So we need things that listen to this happen rather than it literally happen. So we have trigger up here, and we want this trigger is essentially going to be our start direction, and we're going to have this be on direction start, and this will be on direction end. So that way we don't do any declarative stuff, we just listen to things that have happened. Alright, hidden director null, so renaming that didn't actually change anything, it's just going to change how we're going to go about doing these things. Alright, last direction, we don't need to set any of that. So we're going to do void reset. Basically, the opposite of the. I guess we can just do stop. So instead of trigger, we have stop. So we were calling this in on direction end. We want to just call stop. All right. Stop calls this, which sets the director to be null. Setting the director to be null, if the current one is the current one, it runs on direction end. There we go. So now we don't have an infinite loop. All right. So now, like I've said 8 times, it should work. Alright, so I walk up, plunk. Alright, they walk off there. They walk to the right. They walk down. Now this should work. Yay, okay, it's working. It should work this time, I'm sure of it. Yep. Uh your belief is what got us over the line there. It's finally working. Oh, I need some water. Alright. Well, now that we have that actually set up, it's gonna be a lot easier to add in actions that they can do in the future. So let's see here. How do we want to... Okay, one of the things that I want to add in is, so on our director, we have set destination and then we have wait. I think wait shouldn't be anything special. I think wait should be just like idle, essentially, and everything. Well, okay, almost all of our states should also contain the wait duration as a exit time, so that we can like have it go to a destination and then say sit here for 1 second, instead of having to have a wait action after that. And if we don't want them to sit there, just leave it at 0. So we're gonna have minimum traverse await, minimum wait for destination arrival. Much longer name, but also much clearer for what it actually is. So we need to... Well, let's actually start with setting up the editor for it. So we're going to use our agent direction field. So our wait to duration is going to be... For now, I think we can have it always on. So we can just get rid of this check. And in the future, we might want to disable it for different ones. And I think it would be best if we have our wait duration last. We'll rename this to be exit time field. The time field will be written onto prop wait duration. Wait duration to exit time. Rename this to exit time. And this is written into wait durations here, which is exit time. Rename this to exit times. Alright. So now that we're using that for everything, we need to actually set up our code to use it for everything. So we'll do right under elapsed duration, we'll do private float direction complete time. We'll do private bool direction complete. So when we skip to a next direction, we'll, along with our elapsed duration, we'll set direction complete to false. And we'll set direction complete time to 0. Yeah, we're actually going to move that down here, since we're by where it's needed. So in our director update, we'll check here. Wait, let's rename that to pause yield. I think wait is honestly a pretty good one. Though pause might be good as well. Leave it up to the comment section. Alright, so we'll do a check in here. So if elapsed duration is greater than minimum wait for destination arrival, then we can do our checks in here. Why did the Unity developer go broke? Because he kept using instantiate in a loop and forgot to destroy his assets. Well, that would certainly make me go broke. I can assure you that. Oh my god. Alright, so we need direction complete, so if direction complete, oops, else. So we're basically going to split this specific thing up into two things. So if direction complete time, no, we want if elapsed duration is greater than or equal to direction complete time alright. And if has arrived, we do direction complete. I'll actually break that into its own thing. So void next duration step doesn't need to be public anymore now that it's not called from some custom event. Alright, private void complete current direction. We'll do direction complete equals true, and direction complete time equals elapsed duration. Because we're going to be using this a lot. Basically once in every one of these. And for now, we just have wait and set destination, but we'll have a lot more things, like animate, like play an animation, or run a dialogue, or I don't know, teleport somewhere. It's probably going to be a good one. Okay, so agent.locomotion has arrived. Complete direction. Direction is complete. If elapsed duration is greater than or equal to direction complete time plus wait what's the exit times? Here we go. Alright, so if the amount of time that this direction has been active, no. If the amount of time this director has been active is greater than the time point that this direction completed at, plus the exit time, we'll skip to the next one. That should make sense. I'm surprised more people are not in this chat. Don't you have a community group or something? I have a Discord server. It's largely for tech support for a lot of the stuff that I have. But I guess I've also been doing kind of this same NPC development stream. I think it might be interesting to have every other week be the NPCs and then another project or stuff like that, where I can continue making progress on all of it. And might be good to do like one of the combat weapon systems that I've kind of talked about in the past. But yeah, feel free to invite people, but also feel free to just kind of hang out and work on whatever you got. So here we go. Direction type, exit time, wait. Don't need that anymore. So we'll put this wait at the start. So this wait is 3 seconds, destination 0, destination 1, 2, and get rid of this one. Sorry, yeah, no worries. Welcome, welcome. we are cleaning up the director system so that there's a bit more specific stuff to the actual state machine for it. And it is certainly getting better. So our default state is wait, and everything else has the exit time now, which I now realize can be negative, so I need to fix it. Oh, cool, cool. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting seeing what this ends up looking like in a while. Alright. There we go. We don't want the exit time to ever be below 0. So I'll just set a minimum value for the serialized field to 0. Do that. Yep, okay. That blocks my ability to do less than 0. Easy. Well, okay, let's see if this actually works. So I click this button. It's going to cause the NPC to wait, go to a destination with no wait, go to a destination with 1 second wait, go to a destination with 2 seconds of wait, and then return to following. They do nothing. 2, 3. Alright, they go over to there. When they reach this destination, they should immediately go to the next one. They then wait for 1 second. To the next one, they wait for 2 seconds. And then they return to following me. Awesome. Exit time works perfectly. Easy. Alright. So now that we got that, let's see, I guess we can add in a new direction type. So we'll add in the, let's do the teleport one. That's simple enough. So we have to do that in a few different spots. So we'll go to our direction type. We'll do teleport to. So we'll have, let's require a transform for that. It always just gets a bit weird when you're working with raw vector 3s. Teleport to targets. Alright, so basically that. Swap this to teleport 2. We don't care about the minimum wait for destination arrival on this one, so we can get rid of that. We don't care about delaying our direction complete because this is going to be an instantaneous action. It just moves the NPC to a location. So alright, so this will just be if elapsed duration is elapsed duration extraction. Okay, yep. Yes, we just care about this. No, we care about the if direction complete for the wait exit option. So we'll just declare it complete there. Oops. And here we will do our locomotion needs a teleport to. So next to set destination we'll do public void teleport to transform target. disturbingly staying awake at my kids. The weather's too nice out. Well, it's good to hear that the weather's turning up here. Always good to see. So we're gonna do agent that's is it move. Oh, that's an offset. I'm pretty sure there's a teleport function of some sort. Reset path, set path, resume, stop. Alright, so let's see. Google navmesh agent unity teleport. Because I thought there was a specific function for setting the position of a navmesh agent. Warp. There we go. Warp is the function that navmesh agents use for teleporting someone. Valgan, in your opinion, what makes a good YouTube tutorial? That entirely depends on what you are trying to teach. Usually, I am teaching stuff that will take a bit of time to do so, and I think in general, staying engaging is good, but also staying focused on the thing that you're doing is good. You don't want to sound too robotic. You want to have it be kind of a bit more natural speak if you're going for that duration. Obviously, if the thing that you're doing takes 1 minute, it might make more sense to have it very scripted and to the point. But one of the things that I do is I familiarize myself with the process so much that pace by pace, it could be scripted, but for the most part, my tutorial videos don't have scripts. What they do have is I did the tutorial 5 times in a row and recorded the 6th one, or I think I recorded the 5th one. Yeah. So by that point, I know everything. I know all the words I'm essentially going to say, and you just kind of like have a good naturalistic way of communicating the information and getting it out there fast. Do not waste people's time. That is the biggest one with tutorials. If someone feels like the thing that you are teaching them at this very moment isn't actually teaching them, they're going to hit next. They're going to skip forward a few seconds, and they're just going to keep doing that until something on screen becomes recognizably new. So I'll bring up a lot of information in my tutorial videos and explain some pretty basic stuff, but I never do that more than once in a video. So for example, my tutorial videos do udon sharp and udon graph. What I do there is I start with udon graph because it's a very visual learning system, and I explain all the concepts and theory behind why we're doing things. When we get to udon sharp, I am done teaching theory. I am teaching udon sharp implementation. You have already learned that earlier in the video. I don't need to tell you why I'm making a for loop. Just this is a for loop, and this is why I'm like, this is where I'm putting it. Because again, they already know that. But that might be a bit special for my specific layout, because I'm essentially doing 2 tutorial videos, or 1.5 essentially. As I said, all the explanation comes in the first half, and the here's how udon sharp does it comes in the latter bit. So it's always going to depend on the teacher. It's going to depend on the content that you are teaching. It's going to depend on a million things, realistically. But oh my god, do not make the student, the watcher, the user, whatever, think that you are wasting their time. If they have even remotely thought that, you have lost them, and they likely will not re-interact with the video outside of finding a bit of information that you have for them, and they might not find it. Even if it's in the video, skipping forward, they might skip it and miss it, and they just leave unhappy. Having someone get bored in the middle of a tutorial video is the easiest way for it to be a failure of a tutorial. And bored, I mean, like, you don't need to be engaging, you don't need to be like Zoomer content and stuff. Just like, the thing that you're doing needs to have a reason for why you are doing it. And that reason needs to be conveyed very clearly and immediately. And keep jokes tamed for tutorials. Yeah, you can definitely have some things here and there, like, while you were doing something, you fumbled a spelling or something, and you just said, "Ugh," and then you can, like, fix it. But it needs to be adjacent to the thing that you're actually doing. Don't have it be like, haha, random vine booms and stuff in the middle of a 16-minute tutorial video. Like, sure, you might wake them up if they fell asleep, but if they fell asleep, then that's already a problem. But yeah, Kadeka, very good point. Yeah, you need to gauge the humor for the content, and tutorial videos tend to not be very humor conducive. The tutorial video, I like it when it is to the point and not split into many other videos. Yeah, I think I have one time where I have split a tutorial into multiple things. Actually, that might not be true. I think I might have not made that video where I made multiple videos for stuff. But I mean, if the tutorial would otherwise be literally 7 hours long, then maybe it would be nice to break it up. But yeah, if it's going to be like a 20-minute video altogether, and you've just released like 4 5-minute videos, oh my god, please do not do that. Like that point is just trying to farm engagement, rather than teach someone. What in God's name was I doing? Here we go. Alright, warp. Takes a vector 3. Will be target dot position. I'm realizing now that our set destination is a position. Like a vector 3. So it might be good to keep that consistent. Vector 3 position. Sure, I'm the one to make you backtrack to the other video. Oh yeah, it can be tough because let's say you're explaining a very complicated process that takes 20 minutes. If that's a requirement for every video you do, it would make a bit more sense to split it into its own thing. But it's funny that you can't just change the position of AI. You really have to use the warp method. It took me so long to figure it out. Yeah, so before I found out about the warp method, I had my own method for handling this, in which my teleport function took the agent, the navmesh agent, disabled the component, set the transform's position, and then re-enabled the component. Because I maybe even warp didn't exist yet. I don't know, but back then that was how I handled doing that. And it's because the navmesh agent has a lot of handling for setting a position, so if you set their position, it's probably going to get overwritten. But oh my god, yeah, this was definitely a there we go. This was definitely something that had to be learned. Yeah, it wasn't great. Okay, so now I may be doing warp here to this position. I'm actually going to break this out a bit. I'm going to make a nav mesh hit and set this to be a new nav mesh hit, and we'll do nav mesh dot oh, what's the function name? Sample position. Okay. So this is going to basically, we're passing in a world space position. Nav mesh sample position will take that position and find the closest actual position that's on the nav mesh and go to that. If you hear any music coming over my mic, let me know. I may have to change my schedule in the future because the park right outside my door, my window, has Thursday night music, which is awesome, but might come over the stream. Alright, so we'll pass in position for that. Out hit. Max distance. Just do 1,000 for now. Area mask will do -1 just to hit all of them. We can make that inline. Yeah, sure. Hit. So we'll do hit dot position. Ooh, wait, no. We want to do vector 3 target. Now, sample position. It returns a true or false when an eye hits. So we'll do if. Then we can do target equals hit dot position. Else target equals position. I can just set target to equal position up here. Then it gets overwritten if it's needed. And just pop that in there. Alright, I need some water. Oh, actually I need some more water. Alright, so the agent locomotion now has a teleport 2 function that takes a vector 3. So for our handling over here, so agent director, we want to do you ever talk code in Unity to someone and see their eyes glaze over? Sometimes. I have learned to be quite good at gauging someone's skill and adjusting for that. Not even specifically a Unity thing. It's originally something that I learned for Smash Bros. Because I played a lot of Super Smash Bros. 4 and Ultimate during college. And people who are really good at a fighting game can make a fighting game really not fun for people who didn't put in as much time. So I've definitely learned to gauge and adjust my skills from that, and that really just kind of automatically translated into discussing topics that I'm good at. And not to toot my own horn, but this is something I feel like that I've gotten quite good at in general. Okay, so director update. Since we're doing this instantly, I wonder if we should move the teleport 2 stuff into our yeah, that would make sense. Okay, so we'll do case teleport 2 break, and we'll do agent.locomotion.teleport 2 teleport to targets direction index position. Alright, so with that, I should just write right into this. I think from there we can complete current direction. And then we don't need to worry about that, because it will always be complete. It is done the moment that it is started. So yeah, we don't even need that addition there. Okay. Teleport to bonk bottom boom. So let's add in the stuff for our serialized stuff. So let's go to agent director helper. This has stuff here. So this will be teleport to target. Now in our field here, I have teleport to target field. Property drop teleport to target. Now in here we'll do teleport to target field, and in here we need to bind it, so prop teleport to target is teleport to target. Teleport to target. If you put my name into the code, will it transfer my personality into it? I'm pretty sure that's how it works. You know, I've been too afraid to try. I have never done that. My name isn't anywhere in any of my code because of that fear very specifically. I will never engage in such malpractice, such heinous actions such as that. That is going beyond villainy, truly. Alright, so set destination, swap to teleport to, there we go. This is... Alright, I think that's all the steps. That is one of the downsides of this kind of system. It is split up amongst basically 4 different scripts. So whenever you add a new function to the director, you have to add it like 4 different times in 4 different ways. So direction type, let's add one more, change it to teleport to, and we will teleport back to the first position, wait 2 seconds, do that. Oh, wait, no. There's one more spot that I need to add it. So in our automation for the director post-processing, we have set destination, and there we go. So teleport to. Okay. Now when we generate these values, they're actually being put into the script. This is one of the reasons why I will go against some of my normal naming conventions for private variables for that kind of automation, because it lets me copy paste code so much easier. Alright. Expected behavior. Wait 3 seconds. Walk to first place. Walk to second place. Wait 1 second. Walk to third place. Wait 2 seconds. And then teleport back to the first one. Alright, I probably could have shortened this a bit instead of waiting for the whole thing. Alright, look. Goes here, waits 1 second. Goes here, waits 2 seconds. It should, yep, teleports there. And then after that, should go back to following me. Alright, we've added a new feature to our director system. Awesome. Ah. Alright, so. Alright, from here, we can start adding, oh, what else can we do? State machine. Agent controller has assigned director. Yeah, so that's all the stuff I wrote out pretty quickly early on. This reminds me of the world with all the robots walking around it. Oh, terrifying. But yeah, the fact that that is so recognizable, we really need more NPCs in VR chat, and that is the primary reason that I'm setting this up. It's like I want people to have more characters in the worlds. I want people to be doing things. I want the worlds to be alive. All right, so one of the things that I set up earlier was a vector 3 array for pathing, and I don't want that to be a vector 3 away. A vector 3 away. Array. Oh my god. I don't want that to be an array. I want that to be its own pathing system where you can like query a new position, get new stuff from there, and do stuff like that. And that's going to be very simple, so I'm going to do it very quickly. So we'll do agent path. So probably the namespace there. We will have a serialized field of private vector 3 array points. Where's the setup? All right, so we can use the nice little function on draw gizmo selected. There we go. And then we can do a few things here. So if points equals null or points dot right equals 0, return. And we can do everything after this. We'll actually change this to less than equal to 1. Because we don't... What we're doing is we're going to be drawing lines between all of our points. And this may have been asked a lot, but are you going to release this to the public? Yeah, so this is going to be on my Patreon. It actually, just on Tuesday, I released the first version of this on Patreon. And that was the one that we finished on the Tuesday's stream. So incremental feature additions, whenever there is a stable version of it that I think is usable and people can play around with it, I will put it up on Patreon. Sometimes I might finish a stream and it's not there. It's gonna need a bit more time in the oven to actually get to a point where people can functionally use it. But I try to get this onto my Patreon every time that there's an update for it. Yeah, sure. Okay. There is a math function in Unity, probably just in C# as well, that is it mathf.wrap? Okay, basically what I'm trying to do is, if I have a value of 10 and I want a max value of 9, that 10 becomes a 0 or something like that. Yeah, a 0. I know this is a function, a method, because I've actually seen the Hardlight use it, or Lumilight, and I just don't remember what it's called. Wow, there's a lot of stuff in here, like next power of 2, like you can just pass in a value and get that. Huh. Ping pong power. Repeat! There we go. Lumilight, you had used mathf.repeat in the past, and I didn't remember what it was called. So I've just been hitting down, looking at all the mathf functions, and, here, finally found it. Alright, so what we're doing here is, we're going to get the length of this point. Int next index, and that's going to be I'm gonna cache the points line. Int blank equals points dot. We'll do I blank. What is this? Oh, do we have a... No, we just have to cast it as an int. Okay. That's fine. I know it's going to be an int. I'm only passing in ints, because they're indices. Alright, so here, we're going to do gizmos.drawLine. Wait, hold on. I forget. What's Gizmo's draw line list? Draw line list. Pairs of points to be used at the beginning and end. Throws an exception of... Okay, no, I don't want that. Let's draw a line strip. Draws a line between each point in the supplied span. Okay, we might just use that actually. I forgot this was an implement thing. Gizmos.draw line strip. Oops. Line strip. There we go. Just pass in points. No, we are. There's two parameters. Looped. Let's do no. We don't want it looped. All right. In that case, we can just get all that. We don't want to care about this as part of the Udon compiler, so we'll just do if Unity editor and not compiler Udon sharp. And just wrap that in there. The amount of times that I come up to a solution for something, I come up with a solution for something only to realize that the problem didn't exist is, it's like you solved something and then just the answer like wasn't real. Like this is way easier, but it is a little annoying that didn't end up. I spent all that time looking for mathf.repeat. Ugh. I'll use it again in the future. Gizmos.color equals green. Alright, so now... Ooh, wait. Actually, we might not be able to use line strip because I want this in local space. Pulled in through the window only to find the door was unlocked. Yeah. Well, it turns out the door was only unlocked from the inside. So we have to go back to the thing we were doing. Alright. If Unity editor... No. And compiler Udon sharp. Okay, so instead of doing draw line list, we're going to do our gizmo drawing because we're just going to do like draw line because we want these points to be in local space relative to this path, and this gizmo needs to draw it in world space, which draw line list only takes world space positions by default, and since we supply local space ones, we're going to have to fiddle around for some stuff. So draw a line. This will be, let's see, vector 3 start equals points I. No, we want transform dot transform point. Local space and world space. That's right. Alright, this will be end. Next index there. Start, end. And gizmos color equals green. Okay. So from there, should be able to go back into Unity. Make a new game object with this path component on it. Let's give it some positions. 5, 5. 5. -5. I've seen a whole lot of nothing happening. Is this because of the wrapper for that? Maybe it has to be. This should work. Why isn't this working? Alright, well, that's a bit wacky. Alright, let's see here. Let's look at our code. On draw gizmos selected. If points equals null or points.length is less than or equal to 1, return. Gizmos colors. I guess I can put that here, but that's not the issue. Int, next index, position, blah, 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 blah. I have gizmos on. Well, let's just log that this is actually happening. Log. Drawing line. Okay. So this just should spam our console. This is running it all. Okay. Yeah, that's spamming our console. Which means something here isn't working? Transform point. Transforms position from local space to world space. Huh. Gizmos.draw line. Setting color. Isn't my points check here? No, what the code's running. Where's my gizmo? Where's my lines? I've never had this one happen before. Gizmos.drawLine takes a from and a to vector. Line segment is color. Drawn on the current gizmo matrix. I can try swapping it to undraw gizmos normal. Undraw gizmos. So this should just always render these lines. Freaking really? Well, okay, but we know that this was running because that log was working. I thought this would be easy. What's happening? Alright, let's draw another gizmo. Gizmos.sphere. And we'll just do that at start and, I don't know, 0 to 5. So we'll just see if all of our gizmos for this just aren't working. I'm an idiot. Alright. So our next index was wrapping correctly, but we weren't increasing it. So we were drawing all these lines. The lines are just of length 0. Alright, well, solution found, I guess. I was gonna say it's something with the math FFP. Yeah. There was just a single part of this that I didn't finish, and did now. Gizmos. So I'm gonna store 2 colors here because I'm gonna use an opaque color for that, transparent color for the sphere, and a solid color for draw a wire sphere. So we'll do color opaque equals color dot green, and color fade equals to RGB. I never used that, so I thought it would select the next index in there already. Yeah, I just missed it. That one's on me. Alright, so we're gonna put opaque up here. And we're gonna put fade down here. Actually, I think I'll do the fade one first so that we render over it with the opaque stuff. Shouldn't make a difference with how the editor handles that stuff, but yeah, there we go. We have our point visualization. Yippee. Wow, that took a lot more effort than I expected it to. To be perfectly honest. I'll do the music finish. Oh, it did. Let's see here. We've got, there we go. All right, Yoshi. Sorry, but I'm not a huge recorder fan. There we go. That's the program. Yeah. All right. Now that we actually have this working, we're gonna set up a few more things with the actual part of the script here. Udon. Whoops. None. Nope. None. There we go. All right. During the syncing, we don't want any of that. This is just going to be a location grabber. So our path, actually let's have a radius as well. So serialized field, private float, radius, should be that. Radius equals 0.25. So we'll use this both as our visualization, but also for when we're requesting a position. because then we can give a slightly random position so that everyone isn't just going towards the same identical point. So let's do, let's see, public void, public vector3, get point int index, and public vector3 get point random, and this will just return a get point of Unity engine random range 0 and points dot length. Abbreviate it like that. I think we can pretty safely just put our wrap in here as well. Because if someone's iterating over the stuff, they'll just have like an index that they pop in. So we will return a nav mesh check. So actually no, we're gonna start with a Unity engine.random dot inside unit circle. Oh, I thought this was a function. What is this? Returns a random point inside or on a circle with a radius of 1. Okay, I can work with that. To offset. So we'll scale that by offset times equals our radius. Now let's get a point. So just grab the 3 point equals points index, and we'll do vector3 nav point equals nav mesh sample position, pass in point, pass in our we'll do that. We'll do our radius and then -1 for the area mask. We'll do our if there. Vector3 nav point. Equals hit dot position return nav point. Now that we have this and we're returning it, we're going to offset this by we'll do new vector3 offset.x 0 offset.y. So let's turn the circle offset from a xy vector to an xz vector, since that's what's actually like going to be the floor. Though new nav mesh stuff does let you put stuff on the wall. Not sure if I should support that. Yeah, it's easy. Inside unit sphere. So we have vector3 instead. instead of new vector 3, we'll just add offset in general. Alright, fine, you got me. We'll just sample that. Okay. We'll also do a public int length. Oops. Okay, we'll just do a function of that. Equals null 0, otherwise you do. Oh my god, I can't type. There we go. There's conditional. Yeah, we don't have ending on. So I'll just be get point. And we'll use that for tossing stuff into here. Maybe I'll just have another function as well for int. So public int get next index. Index, and this just returns the bit here. In that case, we don't actually need the big public version of the light. So we'll just put that into get next index. All right, and from there. We can almost get out of Unity. Get out of Rider for the stuff. So we're going to set our path to be, instead of vector 3 array, will be an agent path. Motion has arrived. Logan, I'm having a Pride event on the 28th, 10 p.m. EST. If you're not busy, you're welcome to swing by. When you're lost in 30s, by the way, I'm breaking love in VRC. Gotcha. I am not sure what my schedule is going to be like for the next few weeks. I have a job interview tomorrow. That's the big one. And I have no idea what anything is going to look like beyond that, because everything changes based on what I hear from that. So, thumbs up. Really excited to find out how that goes. So this is just constantly setting the destination. I don't think we need to do that. That's fine. Where's your job interview as well? Yeah, thank you. You got this? Yeah, I will take all the encouragement that I can get. Okay, so get next index. We'll do get random index. And from there, just do that. All right, locomotion has arrived. Random path index equals path dot get random index. Yeah, okay, so otherwise path index equals path dot get next index, path index, there we go. Set destination path dot get point path index. Okay. That looks good. I'll drop some of the brackets here. All right. Let's see here. Go ahead. Do 2, 2. 2, and then +2 -2. All right, let's go to our, honestly, all three of these. For sets of pathing, I will give them the new path, rename that from the game object to be agent path. Agent path is a funny term to me, because growing up, path was the last name of some people that lived near me, spelled completely differently, but it's just imagining them as like a CIA agent. So a little silly. All right. So select all these. Okay, so it's getting local position. Right. We need to get the so nav point will equal transform point of that value. Okay, then we sample from there. That makes sense. Play again. There we go. You see they're all getting a slightly offset target position for it. So let's actually go ahead and increase that. We'll do a full meter for their offset. There we go. So they're all doing a random position within these spheres. What is your favorite pizza? I'm gonna be honest, the more meat you can put on a pizza, the better. So, whatever you like. Just sausage, pepperoni's alright. Canadian bacon. Is it possible to do chat trees for NPCs where you have the NPC talk to you with match to audio? Then you choose a choice. Yeah, so one of the things I do want to build for this is a dialogue system. I'm not sure if I'll have... It probably won't be difficult to have audio set up. It will be annoying to set up audio in a way that is easy to localize. But honestly, do I want to build localization into this? Or do I... That might be scope creep. That might be a good thing to build out in the future. But I think by default, the system probably is going to be fine to just not care about having localized dialogue, but building out some good normal dialogue would probably be good. Yeah, okay. So this is working really well. They can go to these target positions. If I leave this, actually let's leave agent radius at 1. Let's enable our obstruction cube. So this is the thing that they have to walk around. So 8, 0, so this is 4, 4. Let's set to 3. Okay. Actually, if I set it to 4, 4, it will interrupt 1/4 of these. So if we go ahead and bake our nav mesh surface now, most of these, the path location for the surface won't be accessible. So they'll only be going between these corner spots. And that's what we want to see happen for this one, just to make sure that the target positions are actually working correctly. There we go. Yeah, so they're all going to go around these edges, and all their targets are within these spheres, but they are on the outside skirts of it. And NPCs know my username. You mean like the dialogue system? I can definitely have it set up to say, hey, your username, as part of it. Definitely wouldn't be hard to implement. I just have to have some kind of, oh god, how do I want to parse text for this? Because when I built a dialogue system for Virtual Market, one of the complicated things we had to figure out was how we wanted to parse the dialogue that we were given. Because let's say, like halfway through a dialogue line, they should emote. Like when they say party, they should jump. There needs to be a way of having, like, inserting an action for the NPC to do. And it's just I need to come up with a way of doing that. And while I can come up with ways to do that pretty easily, I don't know if there's a standardized, this is how you parse text for inserted information. So that will probably be a little bit of asking around. All things considered. It'd be funny if they said, hey, your username. Oh my god. Congratulations, subject name here. The device is now more valuable than the combined income and organ cost of everyone in subject hometown here. Alright. Once again, Yoshi, I'm sorry. I don't like the recorder. There we go. I'm gonna shrink this a bit just for demo purposes. So if we do that, then it bakes down to those edges a bit nicer. Hey user, here's your IP address. Technically, I think you can get their public IP address, but not like their real IP address. I don't remember the specifics of it. That might be web server related. I don't know. But yeah, I definitely don't have a use for showing a label in the world for what a user's IP address is. But it could be fun. Alright, so one of the things that I'll want to do with this setup is if I go to one of the NPCs here, let's just unity shop. There we go. Well, they have reached an impasse. But since we have a state for pathing, we have a reference for pathing. And I think it would be smart to, instead of having a giant like switch statement in our update loop here, instead to have separate module scripts for these things. I know in Udon it is hypothetically better, excuse me, to have as few Udon behaviors as possible, but I'm also a person who will value usability and maintainability above absolute performance improvements. So I will gladly take a small performance cost if it means it is easier to make the thing and easier to come back in 2 years and be like, why is this like that? And I think the difference between having the 4 scripts this thing already would have and the 7 scripts instead is probably going to be safely negligible. So one of the things that I do want to do next time is start building out the like a module for handling like the pathing and stuff. Pathing module, player tracking module, stuff like that. So it would basically be a single-use director, because we have the director for generically controlling them with any amount of declarations. So just go here. Where we can do wait, we can do set destination, we can teleport. I feel like there's going to be a lot more things that we need to add to this director. There's going to be dialogue. There's going to be emoting, so like playing an animation. But I don't know how much more there's going to be. I'm actually going to check quick to see if... Because a lot of what I'm doing right now, I'll be honest, is inspired off of a system that I built for Virtual Market. A lot of this is completely different from it. But Virtual Market had a lot of things that they needed to do with it. Oh, okay. I see now. So one of the things that the director system did was it interfaced with more than just the agent, like just the nav mesh agent, the NPC. It would enable or disable objects, it would teleport the player, it would run an event somewhere. And this is all because of a few different scenarios. So let's say you're at the start of the VR chat world. There's an NPC that sits there and says, hey, I want to come with you. Would you like me to come with? And you can say yes or no in their dialogue system. And if you say no, they will stand there and nothing will happen. But if you say yes, you can go elsewhere in the world and you can walk into other directors, and then they'll be then they can go ahead and do all of their stuff just if only if the NPC was told to follow you. Because if you tell them not to follow them, and then you go off a mile somewhere else, and then you walk into a collider, well, now the director is active, and the NPC is going to start running at you. So there needed to be a way to disable these kind of directors, and I think having just generic interaction with the environment is a pretty good thing to have, like to set up. So there will be things like object toggle, run script, play sound, and stuff like that. I think there's a few things that we can add to our existing features, because we have 9 minutes here. If you say no, though. we have 9 minutes left, and I think one thing that we can add for that actually is let's do how do I want to, what would be a good implementation for that? It would be nice to see stealth mode. Stealth mode? What do you mean by what would you have in mind for that specifically? Maybe when you crouch, they can't see. Oh, well, that would require a way to have them see you to begin with. Yes, what breakers that? Okay. Yeah, I guess that would make sense. I guess that's a good point. We could definitely have a trigger method for directors being NPC view cones. Oh, I'm gonna write that down actually, because that's not a bad idea to like trigger a director based on view cones. Trigger director from view cone parentheses Metal Gear. The Metal Gear is just so I remember it. Alright, I think set destination. I think it might be good to... I kind of did that myself a long time ago. Gotcha. Okay. I have an idea for set destination. If you're not looking at them, just like let them teleport to the end. And just have that be as like a toggle you can enable. I'm just curious how it would function with your prefab. Yeah, there would have to be a few things set up for it, because like I said, the easiest way to have that would just be to have a view cone for the NavMesh agent trigger method for the director. And doing that, maybe you can check to see if the player's vision height or the player's head height is currently less than half of their eye height. So like then you know they're like crouched down or something. There's some percentage like that. So you can definitely check to see if a player is crouched and stuff like that. That could be funny. Don't trigger what? No. Trigger at half range when crouched. That's fun. I like that. That's funny, and it's honestly not too bad to implement. That's pretty good. Alright, so we'll add a bool here. That destination teleport when not visible. If not crouched, then just spawn you and chicks you would be cool. Or like in Zelda, when they spot you, you get respawned. Sure. Alright, so I probably have enough time here to implement the code for this, but not the editor, so I'll write that down. But, let's do set destination. So, if they have not arrived, we'll do else if set destination teleport when not visible, direction index. We will check to see if the NPC is visible. Actually, we care about two things. One, we care about whether or not the NPC is visible, and two, we care about whether or not the end location is visible, like where they are teleporting to. So for that, we'll do 2 dot products. For the player's vision. So we'll do vector 3 vision direction equals okay, we need to cache that somewhere. We'll grab private VRC player API local player. And start, we'll do local player equals networking player. Basically my method used raycast distance to the threshold to reduce business reality. Sure. Raycast in the field of view. Yeah, that makes sense. Get tracking data head dot rotation times vector 3 dot forward. So that gives us the direction that the player is currently looking in. And we will get a vector 3 direction to agent and direction to end target. Maybe I won't be able to finish this by the end of stream here. But basically, I want the NPC to be able to teleport to the end of the destination if they're not being viewed and if you enabled that option. And this will just be some dot product setup. So it won't be too bad, but it will be a little bit of setup here. I can keep chugging away at it for a little bit. I'll just put in some notes. We're basically at the end of the hour here, so to do dot product this to teleport the NPC when visible or when out of sight. Okay. Slash to do this also doesn't have an editor yet. Do that as well. All right. So there's more that we can definitely do on the NPC stuff. I think it might be worth looking into starting next week working on a what's it called? Like the generic combat system I had mentioned in the past. I think it won't be too bad to get started, and I think having a different project that we work on, like back and forth between the weeks, might be pretty good. Just as something more that people can kind of check out, or more that I can post updates about on Patreon instead of just building the entire NPC system and 3 months have passed and then I do a new thing. But yeah, I'll ask about it in the Discord server. But turn-based battle? Well, that is definitely more complicated, but possible. There would have to be some design made. I probably won't be able to just make a generic turn-based battle system. But if we go like, I don't know, off-brand Yu-Gi-Oh, sure. Yeah, we can, as long as there's a direction that kind of project would go, we could absolutely do that. But yeah, I think from there, I am going to step out for the day. It is 6 o'clock and I want me some food. All right. it was great having everyone here today. We actually got not a whole lot of visible work done, but a lot of good back-end work for the NPC stuff. And it is going to be a lot easier to add stuff in the future, and it's only going to keep getting easier. And yeah, thanks for everyone stopping by, and we will see you all around.